All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps here with John from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. Bit of a late night last night. We had Craps Chat. You know, it's amazing, Craps Chat. I love the Craps Chat show. And Jeff's always worried about it going, an hour. Can we get an hour of content out of you guys? Well, it's like 3 hours every time. Fun show last night, of course. I think, the one thing that I would say, and I hope Jeff's listening, and I think Dylan's probably here as well. The one thing I would suggest that we do for the next show is I felt like I was talking a lot, me personally, about how to run a show and about the YouTube side of things and less about craps itself. So maybe we got to do a better job of forcing ourselves to talk about actual craps gameplay and that kind of thing. But other than that, hanging out with y'all for a few hours and just really having like no pressure to just kind of talk and hang out and have fun is always my favorite thing. I love that show. I love doing it, and I'm glad we have a place that we can do that here. So anyway, with that said, let's get started here and talk a little bit about what's happening in the world of craps. So one thing we know, Craig Old Bay defended his crown. He beat Chiro, and then he won again this past week against Eddie in a really good match, by the way. So that's cool. We have our second repeat winner, our third repeat winner, actually. So Craig's going to go up again this Friday against, let's see who it is. I think he's up against, I'm sorry, I should know this already. Colonel Potter looks like he's next up on the list. So it'll be somebody new. Craig versus Colonel Potter, and then Alfredo is coming up next, followed by Ziggy and Jeff Mid-Atlantic. And let me I think I can do this. If I roll this over here and show it to you, you should be able to see, hopefully. Oh no, I lost it. Let's see if we can see this well enough. I want y'all to see the queue here. So I'll make this a little bit bigger and show you how easy it is to join. If you want to play in the Friday night fights, it couldn't be any easier. You're gonna go to Casino Gaming TV /heads up. I can't see the link there, but it's Casino Gaming TV /heads up. That's where you're gonna go. Once you're here, you're going to click this login button on the right-hand side. And the login button is going to take you to this screen here. Now, if you have a Discord account, you're going to click sign in with Discord. It'll usually ask you if it's okay, right? Yeah, sure, I think it's okay. And once you're in, you're in. You go to the heads up page again and just click the sign up button. And that's it. I won't click it because it'll put me in the list. That's it. It's literally log in with your Discord account. And any Discord account's fine, not just our channel, but any Discord account's fine. Once you're back, just click sign up, and it puts your name in the list, and then you're going to be in the queue to play coming up. So it couldn't be any easier than just that. So we've made this thing, I think, an easy in. It's fun. I think there are problems, of course, with anything that you do online, like this, like these tournaments. Like we deal slow, we make mistakes. There's charm in us dealing crappy and making some mistakes. There's goodness in hearing the bets be called out and the dealers kind of repeat things and seeing the payments happen. I know it could be done quicker with other means, but it's a great community that we do this with. And I think that the way that we play is cool. I love our 3-round system. I love the fact that it challenges you to think 3 different ways as you're going through. You got to think 2 rounds ahead. It's just a good system. I love this style of gameplay for a tournament. So get in. There's 50 of you here in the chat every morning. We've got thousands of subscribers between all of us. Everybody should be on this thing. There should be 50 people in that list. And again, what a great way to get to know somebody else. So do it. Go to CasinoGaming.tv, get logged in. I'm not taking your email address. I'm not going to sell your name to anybody. It's just get on the damn list and let's play some craps, all right? So I want to give you a quick little look at what's ahead here for this channel, because we're starting to get into some planning phases here about what's going to happen in the next year. So one thing I want to talk about is the daily paycheck. Now, I have not been able to do a daily paycheck here in the morning show on the regular. There's 2 reasons for that. One is, the primary reason is that it takes a while. Some days I can make my daily paycheck in 10 rolls. Some days it's 100 rolls. And if I do the daily paycheck first, we burn the entire hour of our show, me rolling the dice and not making my daily paycheck, which is funny, but it also robs you of the chance to just kind of have the content, right? So I don't think this is the right venue for it, this show. And if I do it at the end of the show, the same problem, right? We might do a show for 45 minutes. I start daily paycheck and then it's 10 o'clock and I'm late for work. So I think this show is not the right venue for that, although I think daily paycheck is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run daily paycheck on, I think, CGTV and not Pro Craps. I was going to do it on Pro Craps, thinking that it would be kind of cool for y'all to watch me on Pro Craps play the way that I would play at a casino every day with a legitimate buy-in. I don't know if that channel is the right venue for it. I feel like this channel might be, and it might be better if the Daily Paycheck show was me and somebody else both playing at the same time, live, almost like Fantasy Crap style, but just two people, and do a Daily Paycheck that way along with the Crapsy thing. So, and not playing for 3 shooters, just playing until we make our $500 or whatever the stated goal is. So I'm gonna probably do that here on Casino Gaming. We'll try it out here. I may move it to Pro Craps. It doesn't matter. Y'all are subscribed to both channels, but that's a thing that's planned here. I think the Daily Paycheck is a good exercise for me as a player to do live, actually throwing the dice on the full-size table. I think it's good for y'all to see it and play along too. So there's that. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce Craps team play. So with the success of the King of the Mountain style, team play is coming. Now, to do team play, we're gonna need Crapsy. Crapsy's gonna have to support multiple people live. So we gotta be able to see the bets go on the table for all the players live. Because as the announcer for that, I've gotta be able to kind of dictate who's doing what strategy is what. And we also need to think about what does team play look like. So you can expect a couple of dry runs coming up. We're gonna do some 4-person versus 4-person teams, which means right now I need volunteers. If you wanna be on a 4-person team, go to the Discord. There is a channel for team play craps. It's called the Craps League. Jump into that channel and say, I want to be on a team. And we can make 2 teams of 4. And what I want to do is play some fake games, just pretend games as you work the rules out for what does team play look like. And I think there's part of this will be like 4 against 4 at the same time. Crazy, would be crazy complicated. Part of it could be a 1 versus 1, but tag team. That's Duracel's idea to find a way to tag your partner in mid-play. I think you can do 1v1 or 2v2, and you can do where the teams are throwing. So we switch to a camera, we can watch them throw live. There's issues with that in terms of how do we make it legitimate, but team play is going to be an interesting concept. And I think we're going to need Crapsy to make the bets go fast, but I think we can incorporate, I don't know how we're going to do it yet. So expect some crazy practicing on this channel for that coming up soon. If you want to be in, again, go to Discord. Let me know in that channel, the Craps League channel, and we'll start getting on. What I'm looking to get to is 8 teams of 4 people. I want to have like a West, not a West, but a Division A and a Division B that you all play each other, and then we have a playoff round that's kind of bracketed playoffs that lead into a championship. So that'll be kind of just think NFL football, but with craps. Okay, that's what that's going to be. So expect that. If you have ideas, also that channel will be a great place to drop your ideas in. Again, we can't go live with it until Crapsy version 2 comes out, where we can do the live betting and visual live betting. Until that's a thing, we can't do it, but we can practice what we think a good set of rules might be. So, and on that same note, the rules that we have set up for Chiro and Chris, I think are also very cool. Like the Friday Night Fights is a 1 night, 1 stand, King of the Mountain kind of thing. What they're doing, the 6 sessions to determine the grudge match champion, I think is a cool format too. If 2 people want to go, if it wants to be like Vincent Skill could do that, I could go against AZ, whatever you want to do. It'd be fun to have like a 6-session kind of march through. I think it'd be really cool. So I like what we're doing there too. I think we're onto some interesting stuff here with these battles. And I think, for the degenerate in all of us, it's nice to have $5,000 to play with without any risk and just go hog wild and have fun with big bets and, do some crazy things. It's fun. Not realistic, but it's fun. And I think it's a good way to use our online time. The other thing is I'm still looking for a dealer to do a new Deal Me In show. I got to find a dealer that A, I know, and B, that we can trust with having a show here, because Anthony stopped being a dealer. Anthony's now working regular work. So that didn't work out to have him be a long term, but I want to get a new dealer in place for that for sure. In the meantime, we are going to start up very soon a weekly daily fantasy sports show. So for those of you who play daily fantasy sports, I happen to know somebody who's very good at this and does this on the regular and has an interesting algorithm, I suppose, or a model that he uses to sort of guide him through his DFS play. I can't play it here in Washington. We're not allowed to play it. So I've never played DFS, but I know it's huge. So look for that as our first actual non-craps show will be the Daily Fantasy Show. So that's coming up too. If you have, again, other things that you want to see, other stuff you're interested in seeing, like roulette or whatever, let me know. We have a Discord. Let us know in Discord what you want to see. Casino Gaming TV is your channel. I'm just the guy that happens to have the YouTube login for it, but really it's all about what we all want to see and talk about on the regular. Craps is great. I love craps, but you can't do craps 24/7. You got to have some different stuff in there too. So I think this should be pretty fun. Yeah, I put it out there, Skill. Again, it's 4 people or 8 people at a time. So I have emailed them about this already, but I think for accuracy and speed, I think that the team play has got to be crapsy. There's no other way to do that. I think Sin City would be great to deal out the one-on-ones if we can get them in here, but they got their own thing going on. So getting that to work is a little more difficult than you think. All right, let's see. The next thing to talk about is this. Let's get moved in here. So here's the big one. The big one is this. Craps for the Cure is happening. I did announce this last night on the Craps Chat show. The date is locked. We're November 18th to 19th this year at Casino Quest in Las Vegas. So if you have any interest at all in going to this thing, now's the time. You can actually, I'm releasing the hounds. Go get your tickets. Now we have it locked for sure. The date is there. Get your tickets. See you in Vegas on the 18th. Now I'm going to probably fly in that week, probably Wednesday. So that 18th is a Friday, 19th is a Saturday. We're going to go from like probably 5 o'clock Friday all the way to probably 7 o'clock Saturday when Casino Quest closes at the store. It'll be 26 hours just because we're going to go from 5. I want to get 2 hours while the mall's open because they close at 7. So I want to be there at 5 o'clock to get the first 2 hours in so folks can come into the mall, jump into the store with us. And then we'll go 24 hours to 5 o'clock the next day. And we'll probably hang out until 7 when they close the store down the next day. So that's the plan, 26 hours at Casino Quest. We're going to stream it with my setup. So all my screens, all my stuff, the way I do things, but we're going to use their YouTube channel. I may multi-stream it to my channel here just so we have a record of things. But the goal is to have you all watch it from Casino Quest because Casino Quest has got the ability to take your donations in a super chat and have it go directly to the American Cancer Society, who is our target charity this year. Go right to them from your wallet to ACS without touching us at all. No fees. 100% goes right to the charity. So there's no YouTube slice, like nothing's happening. We don't touch the money. That's going to be there. So Duracell, you won't. So what's going to happen here is this. You're asking 2 questions back to back. I'll put them both on here. You got to get there before 7 o'clock on Friday. Now, I'm going to talk to Dennis. Dennis and David are in Oklahoma right now. So they aren't, when they get back to Vegas, we'll have a long conversation. But the idea is to get you in there at 5 o'clock. There's a back entrance, so we don't have to go through the mall. You can come to the back door and we can get you in the back way. And yeah, you won't be able to probably come in at 1 o'clock in the morning. That probably won't be allowed. It'll be like once you're in kind of thing. Although I'm going to talk to them about how do we work that. There's a possibility that we can do some come and go, but again, it's the mall. I don't know how that's going to work. So that's why I say we got to talk to David and Dennis and find out what the real constraints there are. The thing we know for sure, we have a date. They also have their school, which is 24-hour access. We can do this whole thing at the school, the dealing school, instead of the mall. We can do it at either location. Maybe we'll do some of both. Maybe we'll get some casino time. I don't know how it's going to work yet. I just wanted to get a date. I really wanted to get that date locked, and we have it. So plan to be there. I'm going to probably show up. I'm thinking Wednesday. I'm going to want probably Wednesday night. I'm probably going to want Thursday to sort of get things set up and ready and sort of figured out and get my bearings all set. Friday will be at Casino Quest all day getting things ready. We'll play through Saturday. Sunday will be a sleep day because it's going to be a long 26 hours straight. And then I'll probably play at the casinos for real on Monday and Tuesday and then fly back out of here Wednesday. So that's my plan, is to be there for a full week, Wednesday to Wednesday, with probably 2 days, maybe one, maybe I'll play that first night at the tables, but really it's going to be about being at CQ the whole time. So a preemptive thank you to Casino Quest. They're all in on this. They love this idea. And a preemptive, shout out to Steve at Press by One. Again, his logo's up here too. He's the reason we're doing this, right? He reached out and said, hey, I have cancer. I'm coming out publicly. I've got cancer. It's not good. I would like to raise money for the ACS. Beautiful thing. We're just going to go out there and do it. So I want to give them the proper props, I suppose. And of course, the ACS is the target charity this year. So I know cancer's touched almost everybody. that I've ever talked to. So it's not like it's a random charity. It's a big one, right? And the ACS does a lot of good work, and we can do this. And we decided on, Ian actually was his idea to do craps for the cure, because we can do heart next year. Me, I've had a heart attack, right? So to me, the American Heart Association is a big one for me personally. So maybe that's what we do, and we'll just keep rolling through. So there it is. Events that we have planned so far. We know we're going to do the Chris and Chiro grudge match final. We know that David has challenged me versus David in a match, for sure. David's going to do some dealing lessons and give us some tips and tricks. We're going to do a little dice influencer tournament of some kind. I'm going to YOLO every hour. We're going to do a King of the Mountain style challenge. We're going to do some DI skills testing. We're going to do a pass the rack challenge. Of course, all the interviews. I picture a roundtable section in the brick room where they do their podcasting. I picture some team play stuff. I picture all y'all being there. If you want to be there, everybody's welcome, right? You don't have to be a YouTuber to show up. Everybody, please come in. That's the big announcement. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking. Alex will do it for crap. What will Alex do for the craps for the cure? What are we talking about here? Oh God, the cocktail server out. See, this is the thing. See, these are the kind of things that I want. To me, raise enough money. Alex will wear a cocktail server outfit. Raise enough money, I'll play for an hour shirtless. Let's just do random, crappy, weird stuff. And raise some money. So it's going to be fun. I think there's a lot of cool auction items that we've got planned. I think it's going to be fantastic. Let's just get it done. All right. So I'm so stoked that it's here. Book your tickets. And once you book, let me know. I'm going to make a channel for it. We already have a channel, I think, in Discord for this thing. Let us know the channel that you're coming, and we can start planning things around who's coming, how many are coming. So there is that. So thanks again for all the patience on this. Now it's time to get to work. So if you want to help, get in that channel, let us know. Ian's I know he's already offered to do a ton of work for this thing. I'm surely going to help. Jeff's going to help. Whatever you want to do to help, if you can be of any service at all, auction items, whatever you think, we need all hands on deck. I did this whole thing myself last year on a whim. This year we can be organized and start doing it better. Yeah, pay me to keep my, yeah, right? There it is. You can pay me not to take my shirt off. That's good. All right, that is it. I'm so stoked about this. All right, let's get back on to other topics here. But I think we may not even get to roll today. Let's do this. All right. Excuse me. Why won't that go away? Go away. There it is. All right, so the MidMOY question of the week. It's been a while since you've done a Here's the Deal, Chiro. But the Here's the Deal question of the week was an interesting one, which is you've got a huge sports bet going on. Like you've dropped a bunch of cash on a sporting event, and now you're at the craps table because the sporting event, you can't change you can't change your bets, obviously, right? The game's going, unless you're doing some kind of like an in-game change. But for the sake of argument, you got $1,000 on some football game, and now you go to the craps table and you're playing craps, and somebody goes on a heater on the craps table, right? What are we doing in that moment, right? Are you leaving the craps table to go watch the game? Perhaps do an in-game bet, which you can do on some of the apps now, which you can totally do. If you do that, you're losing focus, right? You can back off from the table and make your bet on your phone, which is a thing now. But really, I think the spirit of your question, Chiro, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in chat, is do you leave the craps table to go see what's going on? Because everybody in the sports book's going crazy, right? Like something insane is happening, and you don't want to miss the insanity. Even if it costs you money, do you want to see the insanity, or do you want to stay here on the heater? And a heater, somebody's on like a 40 plus roller and you're making big money at the craps table. And I looked at your video that you did. Everybody, it's almost like 100% are saying, well, screw the game. I'm going to sit here and play on the heater on the craps table. I might go the other way, actually. And again, how do I say this right? I don't need the money, right? Like to me, if somebody's on a heater and I've already made a pile of money, and there's something really like a life-changing event that's happening over here, you don't want to miss that. So, and I'll give you an example. Like, remember where you were when was it the Bills? Yeah, it was the Bills that came back from like being down 35 points in that one playoff game against Tennessee. Like that's one of those games that you never forget when it was happening. I was actually working. I heard it on the radio like that day. If that's going on, right? You don't want to miss that. You want to watch that happen. There's going to be more heaters in the craps table. You may only get to see that thing happen in the sports book one time with 500 or 1,000 people. Like, to me, like, the excitement of that happening, I don't want to miss out on a once in a lifetime thing. If it's amazing, if it's the World Series Game 7 and whatever, right? You don't want to miss it. To me, if somebody's on a 40 roller and I've already made a few $1,000 on it, which you should on a 40 roller, I have no problem putting the towel over my rack and taking a walk for 15 minutes. Like, I'm going to the bathroom and coming back. I don't mind missing out on the rest of that heater. I really don't. It was Bills Oilers. I want to see that. And it was the Bills Oilers, and it wasn't just the Bills Oilers. Wasn't it like the Bills backup quarterback that did that? It was like, what's that guy's name? Frank Reich did that? Like, that was ridiculous, that game. You don't want to miss that. There's only one chance to see that happen in real life. There's going to be more great craps rolls. So that's my take on it, right? I'm not living or dying by $1,000 on the craps table, but being able to say I was in Vegas when blah, blah, blah did blah, 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 and didn't miss it, that would be really cool. So that's my take, is I'm a sports nerd. I don't want to miss out. So fear of missing out to me is missing out on seeing it happen, not missing out on the big roll. So I think it's a weird answer from me, but that's my take on it. I would definitely not want to miss out on something cool. So I think I'm probably the only person in this whole discussion that's probably said that. But most people I saw on your comments, Chiro, were like, screw the game. I'm not gonna miss out on the heater. Well, guess what? More heaters come. So, all right, there's that answer to your question. We hope that was entertaining, and that's just, again, my take on it. So we can do this again too. I'm gonna skip this next slide. Actually, I was gonna talk about dice control, but it's already 8:30, and I want to move on. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll do the daily dose of DI. We're gonna skip a day, I think. I do want to talk about this. This came up last night in our craps chat, I think in the after show, about reducing variables to create variance. And I want to talk about this piece specifically because it's one of the things that differentiate you between being a quote unquote believer, and I hate the word believer, and a practicer or a person who thinks that it's not possible. So that deserves more time than I can probably do today. So there's a couple things I want to talk about still. So I'll table this one until tomorrow, but let's move ahead and talk top 10 lists. So the top 10 badass crap moves. Now, I've got a few of these that have been sent to me, which is good. I need more. We're up to 6. So today I'm going to show you 2 new ones. The sister press and pull, which I've shown you before, but I haven't called it out as a badass move, and the $25 6 and 8, which I've also shown you. I'm going to show it to you again today so you can see these moves up close and personal. Notice that I've reduced the list. There was things that I showed you as a badass move that are now off the list. Everything on this list is essentially part of a strategy or like a one roll type of thing. You get the $40 5 or 9. It's a press rack 2 blacks, right? You have the Texas Crap Shooters single tap, which was really cool. The CEG double tap. Now, number 1 and number 3 are kind of the same thing. Just number 1 is targeted towards 2 blacks. The double tap can be done at any level, okay? You've got the 88 to 44 dealer move I showed you last week, which is super cool. Today we'll look at these 2, sister press and pull, and the $25 6 and 8. Getting into like the spirit of this is like the one, like do this one thing and it's super cool, okay? I do have other things categorized. So we're gonna have another top 10 series of regression moves. And some of these things here qualify not as a single move, but as a precursor to some other play. So the regression moves like the skill 66, which I love, the squeeze play, quarter pounder with ease, the wedge that I really, really love, and the 500 for 1. That's a new one that was submitted, but doesn't really fit. None of these fit the what I would consider to be a badass move. They're a regression move. It's part of a system of play. Whereas these other moves here, I feel like they are, let me get back up a screen here. These moves feel like a, come on, like a one, what is going on here? There we go. These feel like a one bet move that can be rolled into a strategy like a regression, if that makes sense. I've also compiling a list from you all, as you send them in, of dark side moves. So badass dark side moves. And again, one roll type of moves, like getting a don't pass and a don't come with odds, right? Laying the back wall, the ricochet, the traveling leg. These are not full baked strategies, but they're just moves that you do from the dark side. And then of course, we'll roll this into top 10 strategies, full on strategies, dark side, light side. So there's a lot going on here. with the top 10 stuff. I think this is actually pretty fun content to do. But we're going to go back here and look at just the basic moves today. So I want to get to 10 moves, and then we'll do the vote, and I'll do a video on the top 5. So here's what we're going to do. The badass crap move here, and I see Old Bay marching lays. If you got something, send something. If you see something, say something, right? You have a great move, let me know. Get in Discord, drop it in Discord either privately to me or in the channel for Coffee and Craps, and I'll start, again, I'm compiling them and categorizing them so we can do this kind of for the long pull. So with all that said, let's jump over to the table, and I'll show you these last two here, the sister press and pull and the $25 6 and 8, which is a color change move. So the first one, get some light going there. So the first one, the 6 and 8 move, and I'll show it to you at the $60 level because it works really good at this level. It can work anywhere, but the $60 level is actually kind of fun. So if they're both at 60, okay, this will work for any pair, the 6 and 8, the 5 and 9, or the 4 and 10. I'm going to show you on the 6 and 8, but you can do it on any one of them. All right, either one of these things is going to pay $70. Okay, the nice thing about this system at this level is that it instantly, you press them both as high as you can. So they're going to both go to $90, just like so. Not greatest with the gyps here, but you get my point. They can each go up by 30. You can rack $10. Now you're into the hand for 110 instead of 120. The next hit of either of those pays you $105. And you can come down back to whatever you want to. Come back down to table minimum or $30 or something. If you do that, look what we're racking. Okay, we're bringing back 2 black chips. Here's the greens. That becomes 2 blacks. There's a quarter. So it's $35. So you have $235 coming back from that. If you actually brought these all the way down, right, you have your initial money back. There's your 60. You're up 100.5 by doing it this way. Because there's your 120 that you started with. And you're out here for 100, 50, 60, 75. 175 if you pull them down after the second hit. That's a pretty cool little move, right? It's basically press them both, bring it all down, 175 in your rack. That's a badass little move right there. That can be done anywhere. So when I say it's part of a strategy, if you're playing 320 across, you can do that same move on all the numbers, right? If you're 5 and 9 are also at 50, let's say you're here. Let's say you're at 60, 60, 50, 50, and you're playing 220 inside, and the 9 hits, same thing, right? The 9 wins you $70. They can both go to 75. You can rack 20, and again, take 105 payment and bring it all down, and your net for that shooter, there's your $200. There's 50. There's a 75. That's a beautiful thing right there. Turning 50 into 275, that's super cool. That's a badass move to me. So again, part of a full strategy. Those of you who play just the 6 and 8, that's a cool little way to play the 6 and 8 by themselves. If you're playing inside or across, consider the 2 sisters as the thing to press both, bring them both back down again, and that's a kick-ass move. I like that move a lot. So there's that one. That's the sister press and pull move. Okay, and again, it's basically a double tap, but you're splitting the profits between 2 numbers. My other one that I like a lot is this $25 6 and 8. I'm going to show you just on the 6 and 8. This is only for these 2. It's a bet you don't normally see. Everybody goes 30 on the 6 and 8 because it's a proper bet. 25 is fine. Okay, $25 on the 6 and 8 pays $29. Okay, I think the math is it pays like $29.67 or something like that, or what? So you're burning 60 cents or something along those lines. When this pays out, it's fine. It's fine because 25 plus 29 is 54, and that is a perfectly proper bet. $54 is a proper bet. So full press from the 29 goes right to 54, which is cool, and that actually pays $66. Okay. Look at what comes back to you. Check this out. It pays $66. You can go to racking a black chip and bringing that thing right to $18. That's pretty cool, right? Go right to $18. You're racking a black. You can even ask for a black chip back. and you're back at like table minimum or some reasonable sized bet, that's a kick-ass little move. So 25 bucks, let's do it again. Make sure I got that math right. 25 bucks pays 29, goes to 54. It pays 50, 60, 66 bucks. You can rack those greens like a black chip. There's 15, there's 18. Look at you. Bring home a black chip, have $18 in play. That's a kick-ass little move, right? This is what I'm talking about when I say badass moves. A badass move is not a whole strategy. It's one thing that you do, maybe as part of a strategy. So if the 8 hits twice during your roll, that right there might pay for the rest of your bets. Or at very least pay for your 6 bet while your 6 is still at a quarter. Jamming, right? So that's what I'm looking for. You have a creative way to use the math of the game like this to make even bets that rack black chips off of one hit like that. That's what I'm looking for. That's the badass move I'm looking for. Things like that. So I know you all have them. Chris Sideshow Gamble, I know for a fact, did something like this a long time ago. It was one of the first videos of his I ever saw that I commented on. Like, hey, that was a really killer move. And I forget what it was. It was something like the $40 to 140. It was something along those lines where he had every bet set and the amounts that he was betting ended up in perfect amounts for the next. It was really, really a killer video. I'll never find it again. Chris knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Send me your best moves. Send me your best individual moves like that. That's what I'm looking for in this series, okay? So let me go back to their screen and just kind of repeat that. So these badass moves, give me some more. I need 4 more awesome things. I know Chris has got one. You all have other ones. And if you've got moves that don't fit this particular thing, let me know, because obviously I've got top 10 lists for don't pass moves, regression moves, and we'll have strategy. We'll kind of get into the top 10 strategy battle. Will be fun. That'll be actually like an opinion-based, what's good for you kind of a thing. So there's that. All right. So please, again, fill me up, guys. Let me know what you want to see here, what you do, how you play it out. But you got to use the Discord to let me know. You got to use the Discord. I will lose anything in chat. I'll lose it. But Discord or email is fine. You know me, john@procraps.net. All right. The last thing to talk about is this. There you go, Vince. Steal my move. Steal it all. Right? Isn't that a cool little move, Vince? That's a neat little thing right there. And it works in the 5 and 9 too, right? You can grab the black chip on all these things. All right. Let's move into this. Let's see. I think it's here. Is this it? Yeah, the bankroll blitz. We may not have a lot of time to talk about this, but I want to show it to you here first, okay? This is going to be a week-long topic for us. So today I want to introduce the topic, and I want to work this through all week long, because this is not a thing we can cover in 15 minutes, okay? And I want to know this. How would you attack the table with your first 250? In other words, I brought $1,000. I'm going to work my first set of 250 in some strategy. How are you working? How are you going to work with your bankroll? What's your first bets look like? How is your strategy? And how do you play your bets when you're working for your paycheck? But that's what I want to know. How do you play with scared money? Like, you got your ass kicked. You're down to your last 250, right? You had 1,000, now you only have 250. How you playing with scared money? Your last shot. This is it. You're putting your 250 out there. And I'm going to preface this by saying you got to bet the whole 250. We're going to use the 250. I want to see how you play the 250 in working man fashion, in I'm scared I'm going to lose this 250 fashion. And then the last one is the FU money. Like, you won $1,000. You took 1,000 and you won 1,250, right? You're going to bank $1,000. You brought $1,000, you're banking $1,000. You got 250 to just say, let's do this. Right? Let's roll up our sleeves and let's beat the living hell out of them with that last 250, right? The free bet, the FU money, right? FU money might be my retirement plan, right? I'm going to win the lottery, or I'm going to win the publisher's clear. I want the publisher's clearinghouse. I want that $7,000 a week for the rest of my life from the publishers. I'm going to buy all the magazines, right? When I'm getting the $7K a week, that's FU money. That's like, I don't even care. I'm going to sit with $7,000 every week, and we're going to try and rape them every single week, right? What does that look like for you? If I got $7K a week, I'm going out for $2,500 across, and we're gonna rock it, right? That's what I'm looking at. So how does your brain process the same amount of money, the same out there, right? With your first, your last, and the I don't care 250. That's what I want you to think about. Let's go back there and let's actually, let's see, why, Dorsal, great question here. Let's talk about it. Why is my last 250 different than my first 250 or the bonus 250? That's why I'm asking the question. You're a good dude. I asked the question because one of my nerdy things that I love, and as you know, I'm a teacher and I teach computer programming, and I had a software company for a lot of years. I worked for a big company, a big Fortune 10 company. I love the psychology of website development, which is going to sound crazy. I love the psychology of how do I get inside of your brain and make you click the button you were not going to click to send me money to buy something. I love the psychology of working people on a website. I like the psychology of craps. I think, I love the math of it. I love to play. I love to kind of outthink things. I really like the psychology. And to me, this is a psychology question. When I look at this here, how would I attack the table with my first, last, or a free 250? You're asking the exact right question. What's the damn difference, right? For a lot of us, it's what's the difference? But for a lot of people, there's a huge difference, right? Me personally, we've talked about this. I'm a stop loss zero guy. If my strategy is 250 a shooter and I'm coming out there with $1,000, I'm trying something 4 times, and if it didn't work, it didn't work. To me, it's no different. Other people may look at that and go, oh, my last 250 here, I need to change it up and last a little longer because we didn't get our hot shooter, and I want to be here for a while longer to get the hot shooter. That scared money might be a little different for some people. So that's why I'm asking the question. Do you attack a table differently based on the state of your bankroll, and not the number, but how you arrived at the number 250? So, and I want to know how your brains work, and not how you wish your brain worked. Don't tell me in chat and don't tell me in Discord that you do all this aggressive shit when you actually wouldn't do it. Put yourself in the spot where you bought him for $1,000 and lost 750 on 3 really bad rollers. And where's your brain right now? Some of you I know are going to leave. Victor's going to get out of there. He's like, that's my stop loss. I'm out, right? Some of you like me are like, well, that's my 4th shot. Let's just do it. Some of you might be going, oh man, I need to use that 250 to make 66 so I can try this again and build back up. That's what I want to know. So think about it for the rest of the day and tomorrow. Use the chat or use the Discord, use email to let me know what you would do, and we'll talk about some of your actual gameplay out here tomorrow live, and I can roll a few of them out. In the meantime, let me give you a couple of examples of it. And here's what I'm talking about. First of all, let me show you what 250 looks like and why I settled on the 250 number. Because A, it's a round number, which is kind of cool. Here's $1,000, by the way. Here's 250 in my rack. So hopefully you can't see this. There's 250, and I'll lay it out for you the way that I'm considering doing this. And this is based on the rack 2 black strategy. So we're going to go with $25 on the 4 and 10. We're going to go with $40 on the 5 and the 9. And again, we know we can turn 40 into $200, right? I'm going to show you all the moves here, just to remind you of how this works, okay? On the 4 and 10, one hit, pays $75. We stack it up. That's hit number 1. The second hit then pays $150. So we're going to take 50 off the top of that. You're back down at your quarter, and you've racked 2 blacks. That's the move on the 10 and the 4. On the 5 and the 9, as you recall, right? That's going to pay the 40 is going to pay 56. Right? 55, 56. You're going to drop $4 from your rack, and you're going to make this look like a black chip. That's hit number 1. Hit number 2 pays 125, 140. You're taking 2 blacks home, and once again, you're back where you started. The rack 2 black at the red, or at the outside, and in the mids work really, really easy. That same strategy at the 6 and 8 level, it works good. But I start them a little higher. You're going to go out at 60 because 60 is going to pay 70. So we'll get $70 here. Let me get my chips so jacked up here. 60 pays 70. Take away the cap, move that to 120. 120 pays 140. Right? You're back at your $60, and you've racked, again, 2 blacks. Same thing. You got your 175, you've racked there's the other, it's all changed, but you rack 2 black chips and you're back at your base bet. Okay, and actually with the 6 and 8, you have $10 extra in profit, which is kind of cool. So in all cases, you can rack 2 blacks and 2 hits on any one number. And that's the core that we showed you last week. And to have these bets out here like this, it's 250. It's 60 and 60, that's 120. Plus 80 is 200. Plus 50 is 250. So you're at 250, okay? Now, if that was your quote unquote last 250, or if it's your first 250, you're doing what I just did, right? If my strategy is, let's grab 200 bucks off this table in any way that we can. Any way we can get 200 bucks off the table, we're gonna do it. You might say, let's give me 4 rolls to do it, right? My aggressive, let's have it strategy is gonna be, let me get 4 rolls to get anything to hit twice, otherwise I'm pulling it all down, which would mean you have 3 presses out here. So if you pull down on the 4th hit, you're gonna have a hit. You're gonna still make 200 bucks either way. That's an aggressive, I'm coming after it. That's my working man strategy. Give me 4 hits in here, we'll see if we can make this work, right? If you're scared, if you're running scared money, and we know that these are gonna pay what they're gonna pay, like for example, the 6 and 8 at 60 bucks, we know that pays $70, right? The scared money bet play might be to go, okay, I got a hit of anything, I'm out. Pulling this down, and I'm going 66 inside, and then I'm gonna work that like the skill 66. I'm gonna use 1 hit to fund the 66, because I'm scared, I'm gonna lose this and be done for the day. So you're gonna reset your bankroll and try and rebuild, right, with some kind of a regression, an immediate regression. This is almost like the 500 for 1 type of thing, right? On the 5 and 9, you're gonna have a little more trouble because it only pays $54, right? You're basically at 55 bucks. If the 5 and 9 hit, you're gonna be right to 44 inside. You can't go any further than that. If the 4 or 10 hit, the same thing. You're gonna be limited to 44 inside versus 66 from these two. That might be a scared money way of looking at this, going, man, I gotta rebuild my bankroll. I'm down to my last 250. And rather than be aggressive and try and, hit that home run like we keep talking about, maybe I should target 66 for free a few times and build up another 250 and then take my crack at it. That might be the scared money way of doing this, right? And if you're on FU money, if this is 250 you don't care about, you can light it on fire, right? You might be going to turn this 500, this 250 into 750. Your goal might be to triple this up and say, screw it, I'm just gonna go for it here. We're gonna press to 750 and then pull out and bring another grand off the table, right? It's a mental game. It's a mental game. And I wanna know how you play the mental game of first bet, last bet, or who cares bet. It's a different mentality. And when you roll this into like, what was your total bankroll to start with, it changes the conversation. I don't wanna have that conversation today with you. We'll talk about that later on, about bankroll sizing, because again, 250 might represent, in my case, here's my bankroll, 250 is 1/4 of my bankroll. That's a big percentage. If 250 is 10% of my bankroll, it's a different conversation, right? Bankroll size matters. But for now, just consider this bet, this 250 across. You got 250 in your rack. I'm making you play 250 across. How are you playing it? How are you playing this 250 across? You got nothing left in your rack. Pretend like your rack is totally empty for whatever reason. You're not digging into your current bankroll because it's only your first shooter. You're not laddering. You're not running away, right? This is what you're playing with. How do you play this? What does your brain want you to do with your first, last, and your FU 250? And that's what I want you to think about overnight, okay? And I want your ideas. I want you to drop me ideas here in chat. And again, if you're gonna do it in chat, I'm not gonna see it. So let me go back to the screen over here. If you do it in chat, I will see it, but it's not like, chats go away, right? It takes a while to get back to them. Discord's the better place, or email, john@procraps.net. Email me the way you would do this, because I can print that out, I can have it with me at the table, and it's just easier to deal with than a chat here. But that's what I want you on tonight. Think about this. I'm gonna keep challenging you over the next month or so with questions like this, right? The mental side of the game to me is where you win or lose. Not the dice are going to do what the dice are going to do, whether you control them or not, whether you believe it or not. Here's the thing, right? Right now at the casino, For the next 3 hours, there are people playing dice right now, and there are rolls happening all day long. I could walk in there now, an hour from now, or 2 hours from now. It doesn't matter. When I walk up to the table, those rolls that were going to happen anyway are going to happen when I get there. That you can't really have much say in when you walk up to the table. You can make your decisions on how much money you're going to make or lose is your mental decision. What are you doing with your chips? So I'm going to challenge you a lot with things like this. Remember the 3-unit challenge we did, the 20% challenge, the 10% walk, all those ideas that I've got to challenge your brain. This is the next one. And I want you to think about this, because the answer might be what Duracell said. There is no difference. For some of you, there is no difference. For some of you, there's a great deal of difference in these things. And I want to know, honestly, what you would do. And again, don't tell me what you wish you would do. Don't tell me what you would do in a tournament when Jeff's dealing and you're on crap seat. Tell me what you would do when you went to the ATM machine and pulled out $1,000 from your savings account and you just lost $750 of it. What does that last $250 look like to you? Is it going home with you? Or are you playing it differently? Or are you just going to go for the fourth one? That's what I want to know. So there's my question of the day, my craps question of the day. How would you handle it? That's the challenge. Think about that overnight. It's another homework assignment. Yes, Eric, it's a homework assignment, and I want to talk with you about it tomorrow. I want to bring up some of the ideas tomorrow, and let's compare and contrast some of what you all said. I want your honest gut opinions on this, because I think it's important for us as a group to sort of like kind of coalesce around it, because I think we're all in different places with our bankroll, with our aggressiveness, and with our mindset. And I think it's going to be good. I won't put your name on it if you don't want me to. I'm just going to put up the words that people said, and we'll talk about it. All right? Yeah, stop using it. I never use an ATM. I always bring money that I'm coming with, man. Like I'll show it to you right now. I got my little wallet that I got. I have a casino wallet. Let me actually show it to you, because you guys think I'm bullshitting you. I practice what I preach. I literally have a casino wallet that's in my closet. And if you come to my house, don't steal it from my closet. But in my wallet right now is my next set of money. This is my walk-up money the next time I go to the casino. My casino cards are in here, and my lammers are in here. Like, I carry these things. This is what's in the wallet. The casino wallet has my cards, my money, and my lammers for the next year. I never go to the ATM. I'm working this $500 like a dog. I work that $500 every time I go, and if I make more than 500, that goes to the ATM. Nothing ever comes out of my ATM unless I have a really bad day. That's how I do it. I'm not bullshitting you when I say that I'm disciplined and I do this. This is exactly right. That's how I get it. All right. Honest, would I grow my hair out? You know what? I tried. Here's the thing, man. The hair. I'll show you pictures. Actually, I'll show you. You want to see a picture of my hair? Let's go. I'll show you something. You'll laugh at me. Miscall.bandcamp. This is my band. Actually, this is my actual. When I played in the band. This is us. If I zoom in, here's our picture. That's my band picture. That's me on the left, by the way, with all the hair that you could ever want. If you're interested in listening to the music that we wrote, here it is, miscall.bandcamp.com. Have at it. It's actually not that bad. I'm proud of it. It's like 80s, it's like early 90s thrash is what that basically is. I used to have hair. I cut it once to help get work at one point. So I cut all that off and I had a regular haircut for a while. When did I decide? Oh, I know what happened. So my dad, gray at like 30, right? When I had Zach and I had Allie, my daughter Allie was born in 2005. That was the year I had the heart attack. So she was born, I had the heart attack, and I came out of that, my hair went white, like stone white after the heart attack was over. It was already in my genes, but it went completely white. I'm like, man, I'm too young to have this white hair, like my beard, you know? And I cut it. I shaved it off. I'm like, you know what? I look 15 years younger just by shaving my head. And that was, well, she's 17, so that was 17 years ago I did that. I tried over COVID to grow it back, and it's done. I think I've pissed it off. All that shaving has pissed it off, and it will not come back anymore. So, yeah, so my hair will not come back. I try to grow it out. I would do it if I could do it, but yeah, it ain't coming back. Yeah, so anyway, there it is. That's my story, and that's what you get at 8:55 on a Monday morning when I've had little to no sleep. So there it is. That's your daily laugh at John. All right, cool. Let's get out of here. It's 5 and 9, time for work. Remember, your homework tomorrow is to give me your bankroll blitz What would you do in those three situations? You only got 250, okay? And again, even if it's your first 250, if you're disciplined, you brought $1,000, 250 per shooter, your discipline is this 250 is for the first shooter. You're not going to dip into your next 250 if you lose that. So how are you playing? Like what is your go-to like getting to work money? Your getting to work strategy with that 250. How are you working that thing out there? If you want to go out there for 160 and ladder a little bit, that's cool. But I'm going with the whole 250. So tell me your mindset. All right, y'all. That's it. I got to get to work. Thanks for being here Monday. A lot of craps chat. Last night, huge episode, 50 people here this morning. We got 57 with us. I love every one of you. Somebody asked last night, like, why do you have a crash channel? What's your motivation? Well, this is the motivation, right? I'm not going to lie. I love to teach. So this is my teaching moment every day. I get to kind of do this. I have made so many friends doing this channel. I love having the new friends. I love the fact that I'm going to go to Casino Quest in November, and there's going to be probably 50 of you there that we're all going to be able to hug and shake and high five and like, hey, we all know each other. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's why I do the channel. It's actually raised up my my friend group, so to speak, right? That was the unexpected thing. I did it for accountability. I enjoyed it for the notoriety. People, if they're not saying that, they're not being honest. I enjoyed that part of it, but I really liked the friendships that I built. So I'm going to keep on rolling it. All right. There it is, everybody. You all have a great day. I got to get to work. I'll see you tomorrow. I may come back and do a daily paycheck show later on, oh, by the way, if y'all want to do a daily paycheck with me, like roll with me live, I want to have like me and one person do it, let me know, and we'll make that happen. So, all right, get out of here. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, all.